Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Monday, October 8th. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and books and baking and cats. But most importantly, knitting, because that is what I love to do the most. If you would like to follow me on social media, I have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram for sure, so if you'd like to go follow me over there and see what I get up to during the week, that would be wonderful. In addition to that, if you would like to check out any of the things that I will be mentioning in this episode, you can go to my blog for show notes where there will be links to things that I will have talked about. So if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below in the down bar, and if you are on my blog, everything will be down below anyway. If you were not aware, I do work at a yarn store. It is the Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas, and we do have an online store where you can go and browse all the wonderful goodness that we have, and we do ship, so that is wonderful. We also have sit and stitch times on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. I will link all the information to the website and the social media stuff for this store in the show notes as well. So if you would like more information, you can check it out there. I have some fun knitting to show you guys this week, and just it's a fairly regular episode, nothing super special. So if you would like to grab something tasty to drink today, I have delicious coffee in my polar bear mug, and everyone, I finally found a pumpkin spice creamer at the grocery store. It took a long time for them to come out, but they finally came out, and I got one yesterday, and I'm super excited, and now I have one, and it tastes amazing. It just makes my heart so happy. That is not part of the regular intro, but if you'd like to go grab something tasty to drink, like I said, I have coffee. You could grab something to snack upon, or craft upon, or do whatever, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, where to start this week? I feel slightly all over the place, but I also do not at the same time. Like, I feel like there's not a whole lot to talk about, but there is at the same time. I don't know. It's been a long day, but that's okay. I do realize that last week I uploaded the podcast on Tuesday, which is not right because the podcast is supposed to go up on Wednesday. That's my bad. I don't know why I messed up on that. I was just assumed that it was gonna go up the next day after I recorded, and I just set it up to post, and it did, and then I realized about 2 days later that I put it up on the wrong day. But ultimately it doesn't matter because a podcast is a podcast and it goes up whatever day is available. So it might be Tuesday, it might be Wednesday. Who knows what it'll be this week? I don't know. Because it's late in the day and I still have a lot to do and I might forget. So who knows? But I do appreciate you guys being understanding and being very nice about it. That is just how it is. So I do appreciate it. In other fun news, I did get a good amount, like a huge amount of knitting done on my sorbet cardigan, which I'll show you in just a minute. But we had the wonderful chance to go see the comedian John Crist. He was on he is currently on tour, and he was coming to Houston, and we got our tickets back in July, and it finally showed up. He finally came. It happened. How many ways can I say this? And so we saw him on Saturday night, this past Saturday, and oh my goodness. If you do not know who he is, I'll link his YouTube page or his Facebook page or whatever in the show notes. You might have seen his videos pop around on Facebook because he's pretty famous for those kind of videos. He is hysterical. So funny. And he had two other guys opening for him, and they were also hilarious. And Sam and I got to go with Sam's family, and that was super fun. My parents were not able to come with us, unfortunately, because they are over in London right now, and my mom went to Loop, and I heard all about that, and I was very jealous, but I'm super happy for her. So I'm sure I'll have a lot of fun yarn to show you guys whenever she gets back, which is very exciting. Because it was a long concert comedy thing. I've never really been to a comedian before on tour, so I don't really know if it's a concert. Is it like a live show? I think it's a live show. I have no idea. Anyway, it was very long. It was longer than I was expecting, which I'm not complaining. It was amazing, but it was much longer than I was expecting, and so I knit the entire time, which was almost like 2.5, 3 hours. And then I knit on the way back and I knit on the way there. So everybody, I just got so much done on this. Like, I am kind of blown away, and I actually did a little bit more than I needed to. So, oh, I'll be darned. Okay. Dear everyone, last time you saw this poor sorbet cardigan, I don't think the sleeves had even been divided for. And everybody, we have basically a finished body. Like, what? So that's pretty amazing. I am so happy with this. Like, I can't get over how much I love this. Does it shed out the wazoo? Yes, it does. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. The sorbet cardigan is knit with 2 strands of mohair, so that is why this is insanely fuzzy and glorious. It's not scratchy. It is not scratchy. Like, this is very pleasant and comfortable to touch it to my face and my neck. Like, I really like that. That is not the point. That is really not the point of the sweater and me showing you the sweater, because I can do that on my own time. Anyway, so the sorbet cardigan is designed by someone who I don't remember if I don't think I can say her name correctly. Maybe I am. I actually just don't know. I'm not going to look it up on Instagram so I can show it to you. I believe she is Norwegian. I could be completely wrong on that. She is, she designs some of the most beautiful things ever. Denmark. She's Danish. Excuse me. She is not Norwegian. She is Danish. And I need to remember that for next time. And just in general, because I'm sure I'll be knitting more of her patterns. Anyway, so this is her Instagram name, Millie, not sure. But there you have it. It'll be in the show notes if you want to go check her out. This is her Instagram. I highly recommend following her on Instagram because she's just got the cutest pictures of all time. And, yes. So, this didn't really pick up speed until I had divided for the armholes. And I divided for the armholes. I was going to our church's women's Bible study on Thursday one evening, and I was like, I really need just like a mindless knit, and I know that this is very close to being done. Granted, I have other mindless knits that I could have worked on, but this specifically was speaking to me, so I divided for the sleeves very quickly so I wouldn't have to worry about that while we were discussing our book that we're reading, because that would be distracting. And I knit the whole pink stripe during our Bible study, and it was great. And it was wonderful. Actually, not the whole. I was like missing maybe 2 or 3 rows of the pink at the end. And then I knit the first, like the last 3 rows of the pink and all of the purple during John Christ. And I was like, whoa. It's like pretty much done. So, I was talking to my mom about this because I couldn't remember if we were going to add another stripe to the bottom. She had mentioned adding another stripe, and after talking to her, it was adding another stripe to her sleeves, and I had forgotten that. So, and that she did not add an extra stripe to the I apologize. She did not add an extra stripe to the body because she really liked the cropped bomber type shape of cardigan, which I also really like. I have not tried this on yet, so what I really need to do is just try it on and see if I want to actually continue on. I did not even think to ask my mom what she had done before I started knitting the next stripe, because I thought there was another stripe and I was just like, I know what I'm doing. I didn't. So I need to do that, and if not, continue knitting, and if it needs to be ripped out, then I just have a couple inches of the white ribbing on the bottom, and then I'll be done with the body. What? I just really needed to put in the time, I think. I did notice that when I was doing other things, the Bible study and listening to John Christ, for example, I just was flying. I was knitting like the wind, and I was just speeding along, knitting all the things, and then when I was working on it another time on Sunday, a little bit, maybe, I don't remember when, but I was working on it on Sunday and I did not have like those kind of distractions, and I was like, oh, this is a little boring. Not in a bad way, but it's just a little like boring. It didn't really help that I was exhausted and trying not to fall asleep, so that probably didn't help. But and also, that's not to say that this is a boring pattern. This is a perfect, like, mindless staple cardigan, and I highly recommend knitting this. It's just that because I did not have the ability to read or be distracted by anything else, I was just like, whoa, these rows are so long. Oh my goodness, am I almost to the end? Oh no, I'm in the middle. Oh well, I'm sure that's happened to everybody now and again, or that happens to everybody. I just really love my colors. So my mom's looks exactly the same, and except for one difference, she does not have the purple stripe. She has a teal bluey greeny stripe, and it is so striking and beautiful. I love it, and I think together ours will just be really fun looking. I hope to someday take pictures together when we're wearing them together. That would be very fun. So this is my sorbet cardigan. Got a lot done. Really excited for the future, and I also realized that the sleeves, since I'm knitting this on a size 6, I can use those new 9-inch circulars that my friend Susan gave me. So thank you, Susan. You are contributing to the easy knitting of other sweaters, and I really appreciate that. So that is absolutely wonderful. I'm really excited to use them because it means the sleeves are going to go quickly, and it's just like, means I can wear it more soon. Yay! Sooner, not more soon. You know what I meant. You knew what I meant. It's a Monday. Oh well. Anyway, moving on with the knitting. So the second thing that I've been working non-stop on, everybody, you can probably guess, is my test knit. If you do not watch last week's podcast, this is the bag that I've been keeping it in because it's just so massive, and I need to keep a lot of yarn in here. But everybody, this test knit is almost done. I'm so close to being done. What? Which is like, I was thinking about this the other day. Side note, very quickly, before I show you the sweater. I have test knit mostly sweaters this year, which has resulted in me getting sweaters done quickly, which means that I have like knit a couple sweaters that I like wanted to knit beforehand, and then a couple of them were test knit that I still wanted to knit, but it wasn't like they were like they had a due date, like the sorbet cardigan, for example. So my sweater count for this year is actually pretty high, and I'm very excited about that, and I still have sweaters that are on the needles and are very like ready, easy to cast on, and I think should be relatively quick knits. So I don't remember what my goal was that I put down in my little knitting notebook at the beginning of the year for sweater amounts, but I know that I'm close. And I mean, like, this is a sweater, Sorbet's a sweater. Oh, they're almost done. That's 2 sweaters right there. They're so close to being done, and like, that's just really exciting. I've done a really good job about my knitting goals this year. I am just very proud of myself, not to toot my own horn, but I do think I did a good job. And the year's not over yet. It's just the beginning of October. Before we know it, it'll be the beginning of November, but it's right now, it's the beginning of October. So yes, I feel good about my sweaters knitting this year, and I look forward to my future sweater knitting, whether it be this year or next year, and just knitting through my stash and the projects that I already have. Just makes me very excited. It's exciting to finish any kind of knitting project, but I feel like finishing a sweater is just like such a big accomplishment. For me anyway. Like, that's just the sense of accomplishment when you finish that sweater, when you like block it and you put it on for the first time after it's been blocked and completely taken care of and it's done. That is such a wonderful feeling. Such a wonderful feeling. If you've never made a sweater and you are scared to try, please knit a sweater. They are so wonderful. Just look on Ravelry, ask around for pattern suggestions. They're so good. So much fun. Such a nice feeling. I would highly recommend them. Anyway, so let me show you the sweater that I've been working on. That is a test knit. I'm using Cascade Eco Wool skeins that are basically the size of my head. This is my last skein, which I know I'm not going to use the whole thing, but like, this has been such a good stash buster. I had maybe 3 of these or something. I don't know how many I had of them. They were all wrapped up or caked up differently, and there was like one cake that had 2 of them or 1.5, and I don't know how much it was. Anyway, I've used almost all of this that has been in my stash, and that just makes me so happy because, again, knitting goals for 2018. That's crazy. So glad. Anyway, so this is Cascade Eco Wool Plus in the Campfire colorway. It's kind of like a cinnamony color. It's very pretty. Also, let's acknowledge this really good lighting that we have today. I say that and then it's all gonna go away, but we've been having some on-off rainies today, which is nice, but it is a little bit warmer. It's still humid, but I do apologize for this weather rant very quickly. If you're new, I do love talking about the weather. We do have 2 big cold fronts coming this coming week and the week after. And everyone, like, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold for Houston. Like, bring out the tights. Let's wear dresses and tights and boots weather. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Anyway, more importantly, this is a knitting podcast. We wear sweaters and knitwear when we are cold. Which, sorry, another side note, I do apologize. I talked to my parents earlier today before they were going to bed or before they were having dinner in their flat, because that is what they do on vacation, and it's just so wonderful, and I'm so glad that they're having a wonderful time. But my mom was telling me about a little bit more in detail about her trip to Loop in London, the yarn store there, because she had texted me about it and sent me pictures and was just so excited, and I was just so excited for her. But she's told me that it had been really nice and cool there, so she had been wearing all of her knitwear, her woolens, and her girl's best friend shawl, which is just so beautiful and so gorgeous, and I really want to make mine now. It's very inspirational, hers is, and they loved it at the store, which is just so wonderful and it just makes me so happy. So I'm glad that they are getting to experience really nice, cooler weather, and hopefully we will have cool weather when they get back. That would be really, really wonderful, instead of having to enjoy the cool weather of England and then come back to the humidity that is Houston. Anyway, I do apologize for the rant and ramble and side notes. Now let us get back to the sweater. This yarn, already told you about that. Where are we gonna put that? Put that right over there. So I have made a good amount of progress, everybody. Also, I have added in some stripes. This is my other color, which is also Cascade Eco Wool. This is not the plus, this is just the regular Cascade Eco Wool in the ebony colorway. And it's just a beautiful chocolatey brown. It looks a little bit more warm and lighter on camera, but it's like very, very dark. Beautiful. So I have finished. Also, I should say who designed this because that is very important. This is designed by Lindsay of Bundle Handmade on Instagram and Ravelry. This is a beautiful, massive, snuggly ribbed cardigan that I've added stripes to, and I finished both the sleeves. I knit one of the sleeves in a day, and then the Mystery Knit Along by Stephen West started, and I was very distracted. Very distracted. So the second sleeve took me a little bit longer than a day. But once I really put my mind to it, I was able to finish it within that day. Hello. Yes, again, we realize you have a loud engine, but some of us are trying to podcast right now, so let's be a little bit more quiet, please. Here are my sleeves. They look wonderful. I love them. I did knit them a little bit longer than the pattern called for the size that I was making, but I do love a good sweater where you can pull it down over your hands and hold on to it, or you can roll them up and they look really cute. That makes me very happy. So all I have left is to pick up around the neck and down the fronts and do a neckband. The pattern calls for a smaller neckband, and actually in our testing group on Instagram, one of the ladies who just finished literally earlier this morning, it's laying on her bed right now and it looks amazing. Her collar, she did it a little bit longer, and I really like the look of that, so I'm gonna try and figure out how much I want to do. I do think I want it to make a little bit longer because I'm not running out of yarn, everybody. I've got enough yarn. And someone even suggested at the store that I do the neckband in the ebony colorway, in the dark colorway, which I don't know. I haven't decided that yet, but I do need to do that this afternoon. It already is this afternoon. The late this afternoon is currently 3:15, everybody, so the day is coming to an end. It's really not. There's still a lot of time left, but so that's really exciting. I am looking forward to finishing this up, hopefully getting pictures taken soon, because it's just, I don't know, there's a lot. I don't know, it's just gonna be a busy couple weeks and there's not a lot of time to do things like take pictures and stuff like that. But I mean, there is time, but it's like a very small amount of time, because then you also have to take into account like lighting, and taking pictures at night is significantly harder than it is taking pictures during the day around lunchtime. I also do not have a big tripod or a remote or whatever to take pictures of myself, so that requires somebody else to be here, which would be Sam, and obviously he's not here during the day, during the week, around lunchtime. And I'm working on Saturday, so that's okay. You know what, you do what you gotta do. It will all be okay in the end. It's just trying to figure it out before it happens, but that's okay. See, this is why we knit, so we don't get stressed out about things. Anyway, I am super happy with this. This has been such a wonderful knit, for real. Everybody, if you are, I'm sorry I keep playing with my bangs. They do weird things because I don't know why they're not behaving today. My hair is clean. It's supposed to be doing right things, but it's not. If you've never made a sweater and you want something that is very long and snuggly, you should knit this sweater. The pattern, I believe, comes out on October 15th. This is like so easy. You literally just bottom up, knit to the armpits, divide for the fronts and the back, knit those separately, connect them, sleeves, neckband. There's like no shaping in the body. There's like a couple rows of decreases on the sleeves. You can stripe it if you want to. You don't have to. Here's an example of striping. It's like super good. I would highly recommend, if you are looking for a really good starting sweater pattern for a human, not a human, wrong word, an adult. If you've knit baby sweaters before and you're just not like confident in yourself to knit an adult sweater, this one is for you. Also, if you live in a climate where you can use thick sweaters like this, someone did ask, I don't remember who this was. Someone in the store at one point asked if I was moving to Alaska because I was knitting this really very thick sweater, which I just thought was hilarious. So I apologize for not remembering who said that because that was very funny, but it was one of the ladies during the sit and stitch groups. But she is right. It's a very thick sweater, but I was actually wearing my other sweater, my A-Day cardigan, which is also knit out of Cascade Eco Wool. I was wearing that earlier today. I have my Veronica cardigan that's knit out of Cascade Eco Wool. I've been wearing that a lot recently and I love it to death. So good. So, I mean, like, is it thick? Yes. Is it snuggly and amazing? Yes. This is the thumbnail. Oh yes. This is the thumbnail. See, if I pose for a thumbnail during the episode, I don't have to pose for a thumbnail at the end of the episode after I'm done recording. Things you didn't know about recording for a podcast. Anyway, I realize this is not like a very informative view, but there's my shoulder seams. Shoulder seams. I now have fuzz in my mouth. So yes, hopefully by next week it would be done. It will be done. It should be done. Because I do believe next Monday is, a week from today, is the 15th. I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. I just have to keep a focused mind when it comes to knitting because everyone, the Mystery Knit Along by Stephen West, I'm going to show you mine in just a moment. It is so distracting. And my sorbet cardigan, like, I have things I want to finish, like, they're so close. But I'm also so close to finishing this. It needs to get done. But I'm just so distracted right now. I'm also busy. See, I just have to set priorities. It's those deadlines. For real though, I know I've talked about this before. If I did not have a deadline, I would not get anything done. That's not necessarily completely true, but you know what I mean. If I did not have a deadline pushing me to get this done, this would definitely not be a top priority. Because Mystery Knit Along, people, that's going on right now. But I am so glad that I have this. And I'm going to put it on because why not? Yes. It's just so snuggly and I can't wait to block it. We're going to get up close and personal with the camera. Hello. See, like, my sleeves are really nice and long and I love it. And I have a lot of ends to weave in, everybody. I have so many ends. I did power through with one of these of not breaking the yarn. It got so twisted. It was just such a pain in the butt. But I did it anyway. And so therefore one of these sleeves has a bazillion ends. One of these does not. I'll probably be regretting the breaking of the yarn on this sleeve when I weave these in. This sleeve has like 2 ends. So, oh no, there's more than 2 ends. But not nearly as many as this because there's more in there. But like, I can roll that up. Look how cute that is! I just need to do a neat job with weaving in my ends, and like, that's just so cute, everybody! Ah! I'm very excited about this. Oh, I am very excited to wear it. So, again, also, this is called the, ants are everywhere. This is called the camper cardigan, which is fitting because the main color is called Campfire. I didn't plan that. It just happened. But it's very fitting, and I think it's perfect. It's very similar to the one that Lindsay knit, actually, the color, this main color. So, oh, ribbing is just so good looking. Also, the way that this is knit and the way that, like, sizing, whatever, it does kind of create a drop shoulder. So this is around, like, closer to my elbow than anything. Obviously, my elbow's down here, but it's like halfway from my shoulder to my elbow. So that's really nice. It's good. It's all good. Hopefully I will have pictures to show you soon because it'll be done, and that will be wonderful, and we can all rejoice that I will have finished another sweater. So happy times, finish sweater times. So exciting! So, everyone, it is time. Fixing the bangs one more time. It's just when they get really piecey, I don't like that. It doesn't look good on me. Anyway, I apologize if that's been bugging you. The Stephen West 2018 Mystery Knit Along. Texture time, everyone, is amazing. I do love it. I'm going to be showing mine, so I've made it probably halfway through Clue 1, which I'm feeling pretty proud of myself considering I have a test knit and did most of my knitting on the sorbet cardigan, and I've been busy so I haven't had time. It's also just like a very mind-intensive knit for me. I will be talking about this, but also I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be showing mine, so if you are not wanting to spoil anything, look away. Not right now, but I'll be more informative when I'm gonna show mine. Anyway, I've been pretty good about not looking at spoilers. I didn't really look at, whoa, hello. I apologize. I haven't been really looking at spoilers a whole lot just because I think at this point I know what it's gonna do, just because this one clue anyway. I don't know what the rest of it is gonna do. Just because I know what the first clue is basically gonna look like, because it just there's a lot of repeating, and obviously since I've done most of the repeats, or some of the repeats now, I know that it's just going to be a lot of the same thing. So that's fine. I am glad to know the direction that I'm headed and to just be aware, because who knows with Stephen West, everybody? Who knows? Not I. I have no idea. So everyone, if you don't want to be spoiled, if you are making one and don't want to see what it is, or you're making one and haven't started it yet or whatever, look away now, look away. I don't want to spoil it for you. If you don't care, that's wonderful. I'm going to show you what mine looks like, and it looks amazing in my mind. So, are you ready? Don't look. If you don't want to be spoiled, don't look, don't look, don't look. Okay, it's on screen, so if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look. So here is my texture time so far. This is the one side, everyone. Here is the other side. Whoa, that's so bright. It's not showing up quite like it is in person on camera because of camera issues, as it always is that way. How much fun is that, everyone? People who are not watching because of spoilers, it's still on camera. I do apologize, but like, who in the world comes up with this stuff, everybody? I mean, I don't know where Stephen West gets his ideas or how he comes up or even dreams of doing this stuff, but it's just like, I was talking with a friend of mine. Okay, let's show you my yarns very quickly. I'm going to show it to you. They're all in this bag, La Bien Aimée bag, and they're all down in the bottom. So I'm just going to show you what these are row by row. The gray is Madeline Tosh Light in the kitten colorway. The bright neon green is a hedgehog fibers colorway that I don't remember the name of. This electric blue is Yarn Carnival in the glass bottle colorway. There's also this little, whoa, my bag's falling down. This row of pink that is a little bit harder to see, that is Stranded Dye Works, and there's also a strand of mohair in here in between these two rows, and that is Suburban Stitcher. So this is what it looks like. I have all these bazillions of ends. Woo! Woo! Kind of looks like a very odd looking jellyfish. It's very fun. Okay. Anyway, everyone, if you did not want to be spoiled and were waiting or whatever, it's now gone. I've put it away and I'm going to talk about it. I was talking with a friend of mine who is doing it as well. She actually started before I did. She let me know that the clue came out before we thought it was going to. I think it has to do with time differences, but I was not expecting it to come out that early. Anyway, so she pointed out that, actually, no, let's backtrack. I was talking to her about it and I was like, man, this is really blowing my mind. It's hard to just wrap my mind around the fact that the brioche is not supposed to line up in some of these things. I would call it like a broken brioche or something. It's basically like a broken rib, but you do it with brioche. And so at some point you start, when you change rows, you knit the purls and you purl the knits. Or you burk the burps and you burp the burks. I just repeated myself. You burp the burks and burk the burps. There we go. And so for some reason I just had the hardest time wrapping my mind around that, and I was texting my friend and she made the good point that it was really wonderful for her that she has not been knitting for as long, and so she doesn't really know how it's supposed to go. Because in my mind, I'm like, I know like these knits are supposed to be, or these burks are supposed to be lining up. Like that's how it's supposed to go. And so that's why I'm having a problem. But Allison, my friend, on the other hand, is just like, I don't know. Let's just follow the pattern, which is wonderful. So I'm glad that it's very easy for her like that. And I'm really, really glad that it is that way. Granted, now that I've knit through half of the clue or whatever, I am much better about it. But last night, I made a really big mistake and had to rip back and messed it up. As you do. This is something that I'm constantly telling people who come to the store. Regardless of your knitting level, you will always make mistakes. Either big ones, little ones, easy ones, dumb ones, smart ones. Are there smart mistakes? I don't know. But, like, it will happen to literally everybody. Everyone. No one is a perfect knitter. And so, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that was a very good example of knitting of all levels messing up on stuff. It happens and it's okay. It's okay to mess up in your knitting and it's okay to fix it, and it's a good learning experience, regardless of your level. For example, I had to, like, I'm getting better at, like, ripping out and picking up correctly brioche stitches. Like, I know I can do it. I'm just not very good at it. And because I don't understand, like, the mechanics of brioche, and I don't understand, like, how it all works on on the inside, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense, but because like with knitting, it's just regular knitting or regular purling, you can see where things go. And for brioche, for me, it's a little bit harder to figure out the intertwiningness of how it works. Does that make sense? I don't know. So this is a good learning experience for me, ripping it out, taking my needles out, ripping it out, and picking everything back up and just being like, oh, well, I just messed this up and now I have to figure it out and make it work. Good learning experiences. Good learning experiences. So yes, I am just really excited about the future clues that are coming. I am hoping to stay on top of the knitting for the clues. It really depends on just how brain intensive the clues are, because sometimes it's just not possible for me to really work on that kind of stuff at work or at home or whatever, just because it's something that I need to sit down and like follow and have something on that I can listen to and not really pay attention and watch, or something that is just listening or nothing. And that's okay. That's totally fine. This is good for me. This is stretching my knitting brain. This is very important because I feel like this is the only way that you can become a better, more skilled knitter, and I think it's important to have things that are difficult. So I am definitely enjoying this for multiple reasons. I love my colors. I love how it's knitting up. I love the experience of getting to knit something with everybody and we're all doing the same thing and we're all in the same boat of what, like, not knowing what's gonna happen. If you are unaware what a mystery knit along is, I should clarify, because I do know that there's some people who watch this podcast who are not necessarily knitters, which I do appreciate you. You are awesome. So mystery knit along, what that means is that we are given the information of what kind of yarn we need. So we need like fingering weight. We are given instruction on how to pick our colors. We're also given how much yarn we need. And then the way that this one works, every Friday for the month of October, there will be a section of the pattern released. So this past Friday was the first clue, which is very exciting. That was released and we all got started, and that was what I showed you just a moment ago. So this coming Friday we will have clue 2, and then obviously we'll have clue 3 and clue 4. We have no idea what this thing is going to look like, other than it's going to be a shawl and it's probably going to be very crazy. It might not be crazy. Who knows? But knowing Stephen West, the designer, is probably going to be relatively crazy, because this first clue has blown my mind. So it's just really fun. It's a good way to, again, stretch your knitting brain. Really just trust the pattern, trust what is written. I have a hard time doing that sometimes. It is a thing, but this is, again, testing my knitting capabilities. It's good for me. I love it, and also am sometimes frustrated by it, and that's okay. That's okay. That's good and that's normal and that's okay, and I'm gonna get better from it. So that's all that really matters in the end. Yes, so if you are interested in doing the mystery knit along and you have yarn in your stash or whatever, or you've seen the first clue and you've seen spoilers and you know what it looks like and you're just like, whoa, I really like that, I want to make that, join in. Join the group. Knit one yourself. Join everybody who doesn't know what's going on, because that's super fun. So yeah, there's no deadline, I think, for signing up, and then obviously once it's done it will be released as a full pattern. So if you want to join in now and not know what it's supposed to look like, that's awesome. If you want to join in afterwards and you know what it's going to look like, so that way it's just, you have everything all ready to go. There's no waiting involved. That is also awesome. And I'm assuming that'll be after everything's over. Maybe in the beginning of November. I don't know. I don't know. But you have options. So that's really exciting. And yes, I'm looking forward to making progress on that and then getting to show you how I progress. Hopefully I will get it done, get the first clue done before the second glue comes out, but I don't know if that's gonna happen, everybody. I don't know. See, it's a problem. One of the problems is that it is definitely not a knitting knit. A knitting knit. A reading knit. That is what I meant to say. It is not a reading knit. And so there are books that I want to be reading right now that I can't read because I'm working. I need to work on this mystery knit along. And oh, the struggles in life. Do I read? Do I knit? Do I do both? I don't know. It's definitely a first world problem. But it is something that I've been dealing with the past couple of days. Do I read and knit on something else? Finish my sorbet cardigan? Do my test knit? Get that done? That really needs to be done. Or do I turn on the Gilmore Girls and knit on this mystery knit along? Turn on a podcast. I could pick out an audiobook. Actually, I just finished one this morning and picked out another one, so I do have that. But sometimes I just really want to read, everybody, and I just really want to do that. But I also want to do brioche and do these fun colors. The struggle is real. The struggle is very real, and now my nose is very itchy for whatever reason. Woo! So that is it for my knitting this week. I have, like I have shown you, I've gotten a lot done. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, I hope to have much progress for next week, which would be very exciting, specifically with the mystery knit along. And if not, you know what, it's okay. I'm not going to be hard on myself for being behind, because life happens, and that's okay. So that's really exciting. In regards to baking, moving along to other things that I do enjoy talking about, I did make a box mix cupcakey thing earlier today. They're actually cooling right now, and I'm going to be making dark chocolate icing. I don't know why that took me a long time to say, but dark chocolate icing. The recipe that I was going to use, or I found, or I pinned, or whatever, had the recipe for making the cupcakes from scratch. I did not have time for that today. So I planned and got a mix, a Betty Crocker mix or whatever, and that works just fine. I had one of the cupcakes already. They're very delicious. But I am using the icing recipe from this particular website because that was like the special thing, I think. So yes, that will hopefully be made later today, and they will be iced, and that will be our dessert for the week. I really do enjoy making a dessert per week. It's nice to have something fun and seasonal sometimes. I think I mentioned last week that I was going to be making apple shortbread bars, and everybody, you must make them now. If you love apple crumble or apple anything or something that has a crumbly topping and shortbread, you put that all together and it's just like heaven. It's so good. So if you want to go back into last week's show notes, it's linked there. They are so good. They're so easy. The most time consuming thing is peeling the apples, which I actually didn't do because I didn't have time, but I did slice them up nice and pretty. Prettily? They look nice. So it was such a good recipe. We loved those all week. We finished the pan before the week was out, which is a sign of a good dessert because sometimes it doesn't always happen. They were very good. I would highly recommend them. So this week, it's not particularly anything special. It's just a cupcake with a little bit more fancy icing. But I wanted to do something simple because I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of time this week making a dessert, but I wanted to make a dessert, so Gotta weigh things out and figure out what you have time for, everybody. That is the key to a successful plan or schedule or whatever. So that was exciting. In regards to books, I did, like I mentioned before, I finished an audiobook this morning. It was called The Study of Scarlet Women, which was a, it's not an adaptation or readaptation. What is the word? I don't know, but it'll make sense once I explain it to you. How about we do that, and then you can decide what you think it is. So it's basically taking the characters or the names from Sherlock Holmes and putting them into different characters and different situations, but it's still a mystery. So actually Sherlock Holmes is a woman. Her name is Charlotte Holmes, and Sherlock, I think they said, was close to Charlotte, so that's why they started calling her Sherlock. But she's like Sherlock Holmes, like Sherlock Holmes's character. Like, she can figure out where people are from by looking at their shoes or something like that. Watson is another, like, older woman that she runs into or something like that. And so the first book was good. I didn't pay attention the entire time, but the parts that I did pay attention to, which was still for a good amount of the book, I did really enjoy. I do remember earlier this year I read Eligible, which is a retelling, that's the word I'm thinking of, a retelling of Pride and Prejudice in a modern setting, and that was horrible. So bad, and in my personal opinion, that is my opinion. If you love it, I'm glad for you. But I went on for quite a bit, I think, of how I was not a fan of retelling or just taking classic characters and putting them in modern settings. Granted, this book that I just finished, Study of Scarlet Women, is not in a modern setting. It's still in, like, that general time era. It's just, I don't know. It's definitely not a retelling. The mystery is kind of different. It was enjoyable. I definitely did like it, and I will be reading or listening to the second one, which I believe is The Conspiracy of Belgravia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's something like that. But it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. The reader that I listened to did a very good job. The book ended with like her starting, or Sherlock Holmes starting her own, like, sleuthing business, and Watson, this older lady, is going to be, like, sponsoring her or, like, helping her financially. And so that's how it's gonna turn out. And then there was a male character whose name was different that might be like a partner in crime. Not in crime. They're detectives. Like partner. You know what I mean. Something like that. It was very enjoyable. It was not life-changing. It was not, like, absolutely outstanding. But it was enjoyable, and I really am looking forward to the next one. I think, so I watched a book review of something on YouTube recently, and whoever it was pointed out the fact that the Goodreads give you a little guide on how to use their 5-star rating thing, and how that is probably more accurate to rating things. And though it looks harsh because it looks bad if you give something 3 stars out of 5, I feel like it's a better way to rank things. So I'm going to be doing a better job of that. If you follow me on Goodreads and if you see the things that I rate, and I rate everything 5 stars, and you're like, well, you didn't really love it that much, why is it 5 stars? I'm going to be doing a better job about rating it more accurately based off of the Goodreads thing. So, I believe number 1 is I didn't like it. Number 2 was it was okay. 3 stars was I liked it. 4 stars was I really liked it. And then 5 was I loved it. So, yes. I think I have to figure out in my mind what is the difference between I liked it and I really liked it. But that is just my personal, like, going through my mind and trying to figure out what that is. But yes, I hope to be doing more like actual reviews, or just writing out my thoughts of a book in the Goodreads reviews, and instead of just leaving a star review, unless I didn't have anything to say about it, in which case that's fine. But I'm gonna be doing better about that, just because I don't know, I don't think that's gonna be any benefit to me necessarily, but it might help other people who I know follow me on Goodreads, who we share similar reading interests. Maybe? I don't know. It might help me. I don't know. Anyway, all this to say, if you would like to follow me on Goodreads and see me get better at rating books, that would be wonderful. That is always in the show notes with the social media area thing at the very bottom. You're more than welcome to go and ask to be my friend. I will be your friend for sure, and you can see what I'm reading and I can see what you're reading. So that's pretty cool. We can swap book titles because I'm all about that. I am really looking forward to, I have like a couple of set books, or books that I have set aside for more wintry times around Christmas time, because I don't know what it is. Does this apply to you? Like, are you this way, or is this just me, that I always just really, really love reading Christmas books or like holiday books around that particular holiday, because it just really helps me get into the warm, fuzzy holiday spirit. It's like listening to Christmas music, which I have continued to do, by the way. I will admit publicly on the internet, which is pretty public. It's gonna be on there forever. I've been listening to some Christmas music. Don't judge me. Makes me happy. Makes me really happy. So if I just need to decompress or de-stress myself, especially if I'm in the car, that Christmas music is up loud. I'm singing very loudly. It feels good. So don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's not every single day. I'm also not making Sam listen to it. We had this discussion earlier, or yesterday, I should say. I admitted to him that I had been listening to Christmas music. And yes, I did not make him listen to Christmas music on the way to church, because we needed to listen to the songs that we were going to be singing, because I was singing because I'm on the music team. Anyway, that's irrelevant. The point is that I'm not making him listen to Christmas music yet. Maybe at the end of October. Because I think he starts listening to Christmas music the day after Thanksgiving, which to me, that's way too late. You need to take advantage of this time while you have it and listen to Christmas music. I do realize that this Christmas music rant is going on too long, and we need to tone it down, cut it back. Anyway, so if you're listening to Christmas music now, enjoy that. Love it. It's totally okay. Enjoy the Christmas music that you love. If you listen to it all year round, that's wonderful. Good for you. I'm with you. I'm on your side. And if you don't, please be nice to those of us who do listen to Christmas music during non-Christmassy times. We do it for a reason. We do it because it makes us happy, so. And that's okay. That's fine. Yay for Christmas music. So I think that is all that I have for you guys this week. I do appreciate you coming and hanging out with me and just listening to me rant and ramble and get very sidetracked. I do realize I don't use show notes. I watch podcasts or other podcasts, and I really admire how structured their podcasts are, and so then I look at mine, or I think about it when I'm editing it or while I'm recording it, and I'm like, wow, I'm just all over the place. But I do realize that some people like that. And I do enjoy a podcast that, other podcasts that are also all over the place, because it's very similar to like having a conversation with you. So I don't know. I feel like if I had show notes, or if I had like a set, like a script almost of like what I had to talk about, it would feel scripted or something like that. Unless I was like, I wrote the very least I possibly could to just remind me what to talk about. But even then, I don't know. Anyway, that's a side note. I don't use show notes. I don't write show notes for myself. I used to. I don't anymore. It was just another step in the process that I didn't really, I don't know, they weren't helpful for me. So that's super cool if they're helpful for you, if you are a podcaster, if you like other people who have show notes, that's wonderful. I appreciate you watching this podcast because I do not use show notes, and I do know that I can get a little sidetracky, rabbit traily, rambly. But so yes, I do appreciate you sticking through that because it can get a bit much sometimes. Hence, like the Christmas rant. So yes, if you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, including Goodreads if you want to be friends, all of that will be linked in the show notes. If you are on my blog, it will be down below, in addition to all the links to the things that I will talk about. Specifically, also, very importantly, go check out John Christ on Facebook or YouTube or whatever I'm going to end up linking. He is so funny. His videos are usually pretty short, so it's very nice if you're like having a rough day or something like that, just to kind of watch one of his videos and be very amused and then kind of go on with your day. He also has a very funny Instagram. He usually posts videos over on there and does Instagram stories that are also hilarious. Would highly recommend. So funny. So funny. Let's see, what else is there to say? I also want to say thank you to Tristan of Dragon Horde Yarns and Girls, one of the girls in the Yarn Cafe. She had another shout out for me in her Instagram story last week, and it was just so kind of her. So if you are here because of her, welcome. I hope you enjoy this episode, and thank you again, Tristan, for just sharing this podcast with your followers. I really appreciate it. It is very kind of you. So if you are new, thank you so much for coming by and just spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. And if you are an old-time viewer, thank you so much for spending some time with me again and again and again. You are truly wonderful for coming and spending time with me, listening to me chat to you about what I've been making and all that jazz. I hope you have had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. Today is Monday. Mondays are always kind of a bit rough because you have to get the week back up and running after having the weekend off. So yes, I hope you have a wonderful Monday. It may be Tuesday when you see this, it may be Wednesday when you see this. Who knows? I don't know yet either. I don't know when this is going to go up. So, if you have crafty plans, I hope they are successful. If you're doing the mystery knit along, I hope you stay on top of those clues. If that is your goal, I hope that you were successful in that, because I am hoping to be successful in that as well. I don't know if it will happen, but who knows? I'm gonna do my best. So yes, if you are doing that, that is wonderful. Doing mystery knit alongs, they just make me very happy, especially like during Halloween or October, Halloweeny, festive holiday spiritness. It's just very exciting. Also test knit progress, also sorbet cardigan progress, also store sample progress, which is always going on. There's just a lot going on right now, and it's just very, very happy. So once again, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with me. I really appreciate you being here with me, listening to what I'm making and baking and reading and thinking about, and the weather that is in Houston, Texas, because that's really important for everyone to know. It's not, but I do appreciate you listening to me talk about it. So with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.